Motherhood in Black and White.
Hey, podcast family. Welcome to Motherhood in Black and White. My name is Kaanji.
I'm Tara.
And this is a podcast about all things parenting. This week, we're going to switch it up and talk about ourselves.
That's right. We've been talking about our kids for a few episodes now. A lot.
And motherhood.
Yes.
And all of the things. I think we're supposed to talk about motherhood because it's in the title.
Correct.
Right.
We try to stay on topic.
Do we?
No, not really.
Yeah. But today we wanted to talk a little bit about ourselves. Tara, I did not know you before you were a mom because we've only known each other for about 4 years.
Yes, that's right.
And so when we met, your son was almost 7 and my son was 8, going on 9. Mm-hmm. And so our identities have been and our relationship has been about getting to know each other as mothers and as friends.
Right.
I'd like to get to know a little bit about you before you became a mom.
Okay.
So podcast family, I often say that my life is divided into 2 parts, BC and AD. Mm-hmm. So the BC is before conception and the AD is after delivery. And we kind of separate it that way because my entire life, AD is just a jumble.
It's very fuzzy, unclear. Yes.
You know, it's like, did it happen last week? Did it happen last month? Or was it 7 years ago?
Was it 5 minutes ago?
Exactly.
No idea.
Yeah. So when we talk about our lives, BC, mm-hmm. let's take a little bit of time to explore who we were and this identity transformation that happens when women become moms.
Okay.
Right. So one of the reasons we thought about this topic, because last weekend I was binge watching Back to the Future.
Excellent movies.
It was on TBS or TNT, one of those cable networks. And I turned on my TV on a Sunday afternoon and Back to the Future 1 was on. Mm-hmm. I had so much work to do. There was housework to do. There was office work to do. I had work to do, and I did none of it.
You just got sucked into the power of Michael J. Keaton.
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
J. Fox. That's right. Sorry, Batman, not the twin.
But Keaton was the last name on his TV last name when he was on.
Oh yeah, that's right. Family Ties. That's right. See, this is what happens when you have kids. It all mixes together.
And what happens when things are 30 years old. So,
that's right.
Yeah. So 30 years ago, I was 17, mm-hmm. and I remembered a lot more about life back then. Perspectives were different when I was 17 years old.
That's right. So speaking of time travel movies, mm-hmm. have you seen the Zac Efron time travel movie called 17 Again?
You always find a way to bring you find a way to bring Zac Efron into everything.
I'm nothing if not consistent.
I did not see that movie. What was it about?
So 17 Again is a movie. It's more like an identity time travel. He's a grown man. He's got 2 kids that are older and his wife, and he's having like a bumpy time because he and his wife got married in high school. And so he didn't get to be like this big basketball star he thought he was going to be. Now he's this, boring man with a boring job. So he thinks, right? He's resentful. So he gets this chance to go back and be 17 again, try it again and do it over. And it turns out he loves his family and his wife, doesn't do it different. Isn't that crazy?
No. What's crazy is that you actually sat and watched that entire movie.
It had Matthew Perry and Zac Efron, and it's great.
Neither of them are known for being fantastic actors.
Listen, I had a phase, okay? I was doing Zac Efron movies, that's all.
Last week? That phase has continued well into your 40s.
I have no shame.
But I didn't have any shame of watching the whole Back to the Future marathon. It was not a great movie. It didn't hold up very well, the trilogy.
Right.
The second one, when he goes way into the future, was lost on me. But that's now our past.
Right.
Because I think it was 2015 is when he went.
That's right. And it's so crazy to see that technology, what they thought it was going to be like. Mm-hmm. Gage, we just recently watched those with Gage too.
So, neither of our kids are yet teenagers, but I'd love to hear a little bit more about teenage Tara. So if you could go back in time and be 17 again, mm-hmm. what are 3 words that you would tell your 17-year-old self?
3 words, like a short phrase?
Yeah.
It'd probably just be something simple like, I'm going to use a conjunction so I can fit it into 3 words. It'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things were pretty messy when I was 17. So if I could have come back and just said, it'll be okay.
So when we were 17, you were still in high school, right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your high school experience. What was that like?
It was good. I mean, I enjoyed lots about high school. I mean, I had a good time. I had good friends. I was an accelerated program, so I was always doing a lot of schoolwork and pretty involved in that. And I was involved in a few activities at school, so I was pretty busy at school. And then outside of school, I had a couple of part-time jobs. At 17, where was I working at 17? I was working at a little boutique in downtown Fort Worth on the weekends. And then I was interning at Dean Witter as part of a program at school. So I mean, I was just super busy. I was involved in a lot of stuff and I was kind of doing my own thing. Like, as we've discussed, I didn't have a whole lot of parental guidance at that point. So I was just running my own show, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was 17, I had zero parental guidance.
That's right.
I was already in college.
That's wild.
Yeah. When I think about some of the things that I was doing at 17, and again, I don't think I can get through an episode without talking about my kid, because everything I do, even hindsight or looking back on who I was or where I was at different parts of my life, what happens is I look back at what I was doing when I was 17, and then I mirror that with what I think my kid's going to be doing when he gets 17.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and we talked about it last time a little bit, what we see, what we were responsible for when we were the age they are now, and now when we see them, and it's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we look at everything we do through the lens of motherhood.
Yes.
Even when we look back on our lives, it's now filtered with this information of who we are now.
Yes.
But when I was 17, the 3 words I would tell myself would be, follow your dreams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, because too often I think when I was in my late teens and early 20s, I was following other people's dreams. Mm-hmm. I was following other people's ideas of what success looked like, what I should be doing, what my career choices should be.
Yeah.
What graduate school I should attend, rather than following my own dreams. And so I hope that that's something that Roman does, is he is able to follow his dreams, and that we as parents are able to set him up for success to do that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't even remember back when I was 17, like what movies I was watching. I know I was listening to a whole bunch of music. So back when I was 17, Mary J. Blige was just releasing her first album.
Oh, so good.
There were still albums back then.
You had to actually buy the whole thing.
Go to the record store.
Yeah.
We go to Tower Records and buy CDs and things like that. So all of these things have kind of changed. A lot of things like the digitalization of music and TVs, all of that has changed for the better. So I want to know, Tara, do you think that you have changed for the better, AD, after the delivery of your child?
Oh, after the birth of Gage? Oh, yes. Yes. I mean, I would like to say that the typical trajectory of me down the road has gone up for the most part, with dips here and there. But yes, since I've become a mother, things are different. But I think it's definitely enriched me as a person and made me a better person.
Is there something about who you were before you had your son that you really miss?
If I have to say it in one word, I do miss some of the freedom I had before I had Gage. Not so much like having to have a kid with you all the time, but mentally just being able to make decisions, make choices, and do things without having to consider how it might affect him. You know what I mean? I feel like now, like we just had this conversation, we're going on vacation and we were talking about booking an excursion to maybe go river rafting. I said, man, if it was just me, it would not be an issue. But bringing Gage along, I just know I'll be like worried about him and anxious about him. And I think that like sort of sums it all up. Like I'm constantly thinking about this other person and what I'm going to do or what we're going to do or what it's going to look like might affect him. So I think sometimes, I just miss the freedom of being able to just like worry about myself.
Yeah.
And only myself.
And quite literally, that happens the minute you become a mom.
The minute you become a mom.
Either the minute that pregnancy test is positive or that you hold your first child, the minute in your mind that you become a mom, it's no longer about you.
That's right.
And so I remember I found out I was pregnant Memorial Day weekend of 2008. Literally 5 weeks after my wedding.
Way to go.
Yeah, it happened. So, we were doing on our honeymoon.
Yeah.
But we went to a barbecue after I found out that I was pregnant, and it was Memorial Day weekend. It was hot. We were just outside. We were in New Jersey, and some friends of ours like, hey, Kaanji, you want a beer? And I said, no, I don't want a beer. Thank you. And they all looked at me like, you're pregnant, aren't you?
Right. It's automatically new.
But everything about what I was going to do and decisions I made was, how is it going to impact this life I'm growing?
Right.
So from that moment, it was the summer without sushi. It was like the things that we start doing and the way that our children then become the focus of our lives.
That's right.
It's before we had kids, it was all about me, right? It was about what was going to make me happy, what was going to be in my best interest. And I didn't even consider how overwhelming and what a complete transformation it would be. Like, you think about parenting, you think about being a mother, you think about parenthood, and it's like, oh, I'm going to be responsible for this kid for 18 years.
Yeah.
17 in my mom's case.
She gave one up.
But how it impacts every decision you make.
Right.
And so even the music you listen to.
Yes.
I would love to listen to my 90s hip hop, the explicit version of songs. But I had a child in the backseat of my car. And even when he was a baby, it's like, well, but is he able to understand some of these explicit lyrics or not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he going to start saying these words? I will tell you a funny story about that. We were at a thing with my family yesterday at the pool, and Alexa started playing Truth Hurts by Lizzo. And my cousin's husband went to change it because of the bad words. And right before he did, Gage goes, oh, I love this song. And everybody just looked at me. I'm like, listen, I don't know what to tell y'all. He's 11. It's fine. So see, sometimes I still make bad decisions.
Oh, you weren't making a bad decision. And we think about like, how can we reclaim any part of who we were, or would we even want to?
Yeah.
Or is it that this version of who we are is who we were ultimately meant to be?
Yeah. When you asked me if I felt like I was a better person, I think the reason I feel like I'm a better person is the same reason why I often feel overwhelmed, is that, being forced to think about somebody else all the time has made me a better person. It kind of pulled me out, stretched outside a little bit of that selfishness, and not in a bad way, but just, that we all have when we're just kind of doing our own thing. And I am glad that it has changed and morphed as he's gotten older, because when they're little, when he was little, it was really overwhelming. Like, not only was I responsible for a person, but also responsible for this little lump that could do nothing for himself. You know what I mean? It was just a combination of all those things. And then as he's gotten older and he's taken some of that on himself, I've been able to change and grow and let go of some things and dial it back and feel more comfortable. I think it changes as we continue to get older and they continue to get older. And, I like what this has, turned me into and brought me into.
The one thing about me that I don't necessarily like, and is that my kid will not ever know me before he was born. Remember that episode we did where we passed the mic and our boys were able to host and they were able to share their perspectives on us as being moms? Yes. That episode was actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think we've talked about this one too. It's one of my favorites as well. Guys, if you haven't listened to that one, it's hilarious. You got to hear those boys. I know we said we weren't going to talk about them, but here we are talking about that episode with them again. Go back and listen to that and make sure you're following us on all your platforms, because we've got a bunch of stuff coming up. You're going to love it. Make sure you don't miss one going in the future.
Yeah. And the one thing that he did say in that one, my son Roman, when he was talking about me, was that he didn't think I was funny. I shared that with some of my friends from college and high school, and they were like, are you kidding?
Right.
You were the most hilarious person in the world. And a part of it might have been because, there were some substances aiding me with my humor. But I think that because I am not the cool mom, right. I'm the disciplinarian, I'm the enforcer, I'm mean mom. Those, that's kind of the way my husband and I kind of do good cop, bad cop, is I'm always bad cop.
Yeah.
He won't ever know how fun I was.
Right.
And my husband's like, I miss those days too. But that's kind of what I wish, if I were able to go back in time, I would like him to see me and kind of know that I wasn't always this straight rule follower and rule maker, that there was a time before he was born when I was able to take more risks, when I was able to think outside and act outside of the box. And like you said, had more freedom.
Yeah, I've thought about this quite a bit, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think about when I was a kid and my mom would say that kind of stuff to us, like, oh, you guys just don't understand how I used to be. I was fun. I danced, but we'd be like, whatever. You know what I mean? I have these moments sometimes when I think about that now that I am a mom and I have a kid in the same age range as, we were having these conversations with her and realizing that she was telling the truth. Like she was a whole other person, and I think this is something that we all talk about as we start, we talked about now we're in this generation where we're taking care of our kids and our parents, and you start to see your parents as these humans as opposed to this mean mom you had growing up. It's such a strange transition. He will know at some point when he gets older, I think, and he has kids, he'll go, you know what? My mom was probably pretty cool and I just didn't even realize.
Well, I try to be cool now,
yeah.
But my attempt at doing so is rapping songs from 25 years ago, which was cool at the time.
Right.
My attempt to be cool is doing all of these dances that were fun back then, like doing the Roger Rabbit and the electric slide.
Yes. The Running Man.
All these things. That now I look like the old middle-aged person doing this. And I look at the commercial. Oh, I love this. How I realized how we have kind of crossed over into this never gonna be cool again is the fact that all of the songs that I grew up loving when I was a teenager, early my 20s, are now used in commercials.
That's right. Yes. I've had this experience with you. Yes.
Yeah. Grocery store commercials, ice
laundry, machine, washing machine commercials. Yes.
How is that possible?
Listen, I don't understand it.
And one of our favorite songs, they've actually now turned into some vaccination anthem. Isn't that right?
That's right. I just saw that in the news this week. And so we all remember, or at least Kaanji and I remember, back that ass up. Excuse me, folks. Juvenile. And now it's vax that thing up or something like that.
Listen, the rapper Juvenile needs to get paid too.
Oh, man.
But hearing all of these songs that were the anthem of my youth.
Yes.
The anthem of my early adulthood.
Right.
It always takes me back there and puts a smile on my face. But then when I hear it as a song that's being played for a Kroger grocery store commercial now, it just reminds me of a list of things I need to do or things I need to buy from the grocery store.
It shows me that we're now the demographic they're trying to sell. They understand that we're now the demographic with the money. That's what I think about.
They would think we have money, but we also have kids.
That's
which
true.
Means
we don't.
There is no money.
No money.
Because, we have kids. So there is no money. There's no freedom.
No.
But there's immense joy.
That's right.
And there's a love, and there is not only a love for our kids, but there's a love of myself. So when I think about who I am now, Tara, and what I would not trade for anything is this self-confidence I have. And I don't know if it's because this is the season of my life or it's because I'm no longer as selfish as I once was when everything was just about me. But I get to a point where I'm able to understand and kind of stand up for myself and speak my truth in ways that I wish I had been able to do when I was younger.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. Of the things that I've gained after being a mom, that is definitely one of them. It's come slowly for me. I think it's come a little bit more slowly for me than it has for you. But I find that being an example to my son in the way that I set boundaries and the way I stand up for myself and the way I stand up for him has made me a lot stronger. There were definitely moments in my life before Gage when I did not stand up for myself. And now, I'm looking at this kid and I'm like, I don't want him to ever have that experience when I'm going to have to start really standing up and showing him what this looks like. And it's created a big change in me.
One of the ways that I didn't stand up for myself when I was younger was with my name. If you had met me 20 years ago, Tara, you wouldn't have met Kaanji. Do you know who you would have met?
Who would I have met?
You think about it. What do you think about it? What do I look like? What do you think?
I mean, you just look like a Kaanji to me. I can't think of anything else I'd call you.
So for a long time, because my name has been mispronounced my entire life, when I was college, a little after college, I wanted to make it easier for people. So those of us who have like difficult to pronounce names, sometimes we take this route where we either shorten our names or come up with something. And sometimes not because we want to, but because people have said to us, oh, that's too difficult to pronounce. Can I call you this? And that happened to me once and that stuck. So for most of my adulthood, before I had Roman, my name was K.
Really? Like just K, the letter K? I don't see it for you, but that's wild.
Not just the letter K.
I know.
It was spelled Kay.
Really? Yeah. Oh, you went all in. Okay.
I shortened my name because I wanted to make it easy for people. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be liked. And people, even people in the workforce, asked me to shorten my name.
Wow.
I would never do that now.
Yeah.
I would absolutely never. I would embrace everything about who I am and what I stand for. And so people who know me after I've had Roman, nobody except for the barista at Starbucks knows
because
me.
they need a favor sometimes.
Yeah. Listen, I will say, okay, so I was at Starbucks once getting an order for my husband and son. And they were like, well, what's the order name for this order? I said, it's Kaanji. And you could just hear the child behind the drive-through window at Starbucks, just the panic in their voice. And they said, it's a what?
It's what?
I said, it's Kaanji. And they really tried. And okay, I want to embrace my name. But I said, there's a long line at the drive-through. I said, you could just say, it's K.
Right.
And he said, thank you.
Oh, bless his heart.
Is that something you've ever encountered with having a name like Tara?
Yeah, Tara's, I mean, it's so silly because it's just a 4-letter name, but it is hard for people. I mean, and there's, I don't know, 800 ways to spell it. So I usually just let it ride unless it's something that's going to be long-term that I need to make sure they understand how to say or spell my name. And I was just on a call this week and she said my name a couple of times, like Tara up front. And then after like the third time, she stopped herself and she said, is it Tara or is it Tara? And I said, it's Tara. I mean, sometimes I correct people, sometimes I don't. Obviously, I don't have as much tied to it for me. It's, if it's something short term, I just let it ride.
Well, for me, it also was a form of a microaggression.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
When people don't take the time to learn my name or pronounce it correctly, I actually left a job or the inkling was in my mind to leave a job because I had been with my then employer for over 5 years. And my direct boss, who I communicated with, who I saw every day, he said my name wrong. And he had said it wrong once a couple of years before.
Yeah.
But I had been there over 5 years.
Wow.
And he just said, isn't that right, Kaanji? And I said, it's Kaanji. And he said, I know how to pronounce your name, and got extremely defensive about it rather than acknowledging his mistake and correcting it.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I thought to myself, this isn't the place for you,
He just
Kaanji.
doesn't see you. Yeah.
He will never see you.
Yeah.
And the first time he mispronounced my name, I'd been there for a few months. And when I corrected him, he said, your parents pronounced it wrong. It should be Kaanji. Phonetically, it should be Kaanji.
Oh my gosh.
And I said, listen, if they wanted to spell it Kaanji and pronounce it Stacy, they could have done that.
That's their choice.
That's their choice.
That's right.
So for me, it's a way of claiming and reclaiming a power that I didn't have because there was just not really that much self-confidence there.
Yeah, I understand that.
So that's the one thing that I've gained. And I don't know if it's middle age or if it's motherhood, but whatever that part of me is, I like her.
Let's keep her.
I
like her a lot. Yes.
She replaced the fun.
This bold, powerful, mean person is now in charge and she is running the show. That's right.
Just mean. And so we opened the show and we talked about Back to the Future and Michael J. Fox's TV show, Family Ties.
That's right.
Right now, I realize my kid doesn't watch TV. He watches YouTube.
Yes, video clips.
He doesn't sit through and watch full-length TV shows. So we had an episode where we talked about our favorite TV moms, but I'm curious kind of like, what was your favorite TV show, Tara, of all time, if you have one or a few of them?
Oh, of all time? Oh, Well, I always come back to Friends, which is sort of the white noise that I keep on when I'm doing homework sometimes because I don't have to pay attention. It's funny. The other one I would probably say, let's see here. Friends is an obvious choice. God, I can't even think of another one. I haven't watched a sitcom in for so long, which is what I keep thinking of. But I will watch an hour-long drama nonstop. Like I'll have Grey's Anatomy on sometimes, and then like Law and Order SVU, obviously back in the day. But those are the only ones I can think of. As a kid, I watched so many different things. I can't think of one that just stuck with me very long.
Law and Order SVU is still on the air.
Oh, I watched it when it first came on. I remember, and I watched it, and I took a break from it after Gage was born. I think we talked about this because it was hard to watch as a new mom. But I'm back in that.
For me, growing up, because that was before cable. You know, we had like 4 TV channels. I remember when Fox TV network debuted.
Yes.
Like Married with Children.
Yes.
And then there was like this show called The Adventures of Bean Baxter.
Oh, God, yes.
21 Jump Street.
Oh, 21 Jump Street, yes.
Oh,
yes.
Loved 21 Jump Street. Had the biggest crush on both Richard Grieco and Johnny Depp.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So all of these things. But as a family, we used to sit around the TV, and back then, TV Guide was a paper book that came in the mail, and we would highlight the different shows we wanted to watch as a family because we only had the one main TV set. And so everyone was like, well, we had to come to agreement on what show we were going to watch from 7 to 7:30 p.m. There was just one show. The whole family had to agree. But we watched The Cosby Show.
Yes.
A Different World. And when I went off to college, it was a lot of those sitcoms. I watched Living Single with Queen Latifah. Didn't really do a lot of dramas. Again, I was into the fun.
Yes.
I really did like the fun growing up.
See, we didn't watch nighttime TV together because when I was a kid, my dad was in charge of what was on the TV at night. So I really only watched stuff like during the day. So I guess that's why I can't think of anything really that we watched together as a family. Because if he was home, he was just watching what he was going to watch. We didn't have a say.
There was no say?
There was no say.
There was no
collaborative decision. It was like, Dad's home, go find something else to do. Unless you want to watch football or the news.
When we were listening to music growing up, even now, and I don't want to talk about today's music and how kind of it's not that great. Okay, it's trash.
We're officially like, get off my lawn. You know that, right?
We really are.
We are.
But even now, I'll listen to the radio or I'll listen to a Spotify playlist and I'll hear songs and I'll be able to go right back to where I was when it was playing. Like growing up, my mom not only listened to Motown, but she loved Luther Vandross and a lot of like 80s R&B. And then when I was in school, I went to predominantly white schools growing up and listening to things like The Smiths, The Cure, and Depeche Mode. And the fact that I could still remember every word or lyric to these songs, or my version of the lyrics.
Right.
I got them wrong.
It was a good version. It's all right.
Then now, like I try to Google the lyrics. I was like, ooh.
Not even close.
Nowhere close. Groups like Men at Work. I used to listen to all of that. I miss that.
Yeah.
I miss the music.
Yeah. I mean, it still transports me too. My mom was really into pop when I was a kid. And so, when I hear Wham or I hear Eddie Money, like those songs always make me think of driving in the car. And then my parents were also like into that old country like Reba and George Strait back in the day. So those songs always make me think of them. And then, oh my God, 3rd grade, my stepsister was living with us and she had that Def Leppard Hysteria album. That album, I will have visceral reactions, like sitting in the car with my stepsister who was in high school at the time. And that one always gets me. It always makes me laugh. Or Bon Jovi just makes me think of something from like 3rd or 4th grade whenever my mom was really into him. It's wild how music can do that.
It just takes you back. And now seeing where our kids are at this point in their lives takes us back. Always remembering who I was BC when I was 12 years old and then seeing this now 12-year-old. It just reminds us of the circle of life. So luckily now there is digitization of everything. And so we're able to record these memories. And also lucky for us, those memories were not recorded when I was younger.
Oh, thank God for that, right?
I don't know who I would be.
Listen, I'll tell you how I was, but you don't need to see the pictures. That's not necessary.
Never. So BC AD, before children, after delivery, 2 different spheres, 2 different worlds, but brought together to create who we are now.
Yeah.
And they're pretty phenomenal women. Like I said, Tara, I wish I had known you before you had a child, because if she is half as amazing as the you now, man, we would have gotten along great.
Girl, I don't know. Like, we talk about the ones we were before. I wasn't this loudmouth. I don't know if you would have been on board. You would have been like, you're too quiet for me.
No.
You don't think so?
Well, I adore you now, so I can't imagine loving you anymore.
That's true. Well, I mean, we definitely had the music in common. I think that would have been our vibe.
Probably.
For sure back then.
Yeah, but if you had tried to take me to see that movie 17 again in the theater, I would have been like,
no Zac Efron.
No, or no Matthew Perry either. That's it.
Got it.
So podcast family, we'd love to know a little bit more about you, BC, AD, and who you are now, because we appreciate you being a part of this journey with us. And this journey is about to turn 1 year old.
1 year.
Can you believe it?
I can't.
So next week,
yes,
I'm loving it. We are going to talk about our journey this last year.
That's right. We're going to talk all about this podcast, our favorite episodes, your favorite episodes. We're going to go back through and just talk about how much fun we've had. I'm just so happy to have taken this ride with you. It's been a blast.
It's been so fun.
So fun.
And we hope it's been fun for you, podcast family. Do us a favor. Reach out to us on social media and let us know what your favorite podcast episodes have been, or your favorite moments from a particular podcast. And we might just read your comment in next week's episode when we celebrate 1 year of motherhood in black and white. So with that being said, we are 1 year minus 1 week.
That's right.
Signing off. Guard your health, mental, physical, and spiritual. And we will see you back here next week for our anniversary episode. Take good care. They also just remade one of our favorite songs as a COVID vaccine song.
Oh, yes. I just saw this in the news. Can I say the word? Back that ass up. Come on now. It's not that bad a word.
I'm going to say
it's
back that thing up.
Back that thing up. You can't say it. Okay.
I don't know.
Yes,
Ask Joey.
They turned in.
Wait, 1 second. Stop.
Can we say ass?
Yes.
Okay.
You can say it.
All right.
Okay, so 1 second.